Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak. My name is Sauda Ali. On behalf of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago, I would like to welcome you to our special program on the occasion of Eid al-Fitr. The Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated is an organization that promotes a peaceful Islam, a rational Islam, and an intelligent Islam. Today, to bring a message on this auspicious occasion of Eid al-Fitr, I would like to introduce the religious head and missionary of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago, Maulana Mustafa Kemal Haidal, to address us.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasulah amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Eid is an Arabic word that means happiness or joy that returns again and again. Eid, therefore, is a celebration of not one day only. It's a celebration that lasts from Ramadan to Ramadan. In other words, an entire year. We would celebrate Eid al-Fitr. For it is a breaking of the fast. And the fast is broken the day after Ramadan, and it begins at the beginning of the next Ramadan. This message on the occasion of the celebration of Eid al-Fitr explores the idea of happiness. I read in Arabic from the Quran in the words of Jesus, the Messiah and the Prophet of Allah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qala Isa ibn Maryam, Allahumma rabbana anzilna alayna anzil alayna ma'idatan minas samai takunu lana Eidal li awwalina wa akhirina wa ayatam minka. I translate it, interpret it as follows. Jesus, the son of Mary, said, O Allah, our nurturer, provide us with a table of food from heaven. Let it be for us an Eid for our present generation and beyond, and to an indication that it has come from you. Festivals are events for building individual self-esteem, family relationships, and community togetherness. Religious or national festivals, birthdays, and anniversaries are sometimes celebrated by partying and feasting. The Eid al-Fitr festival, however, is celebrated by not partying, but praying and feasting. At festivals and parties, one would find that while there is a greater indulgence in eating and drinking, people are also conscious of maintaining their physical health by controlling their weight and controlling their diets. And in addition, special precautions are taken to prevent sexual harassment and infections by cultivating a positive and mental attitude and an awareness of unwanted sexual inducements. So that Eid al-Fitr, this celebration, or the celebration of this festival, protects us from overindulgence. It protects us from sexual abuse and bad behavior. And how does it do this? By requiring a prolonged period of fasting beforehand. A prolonged period of abstinence from all of these things: eating, drinking, and sexual intimacy. During this particular period, the individual is trained in the highest standards of discipline and self-control. Ramadan, for everyone, is a means of learning to abstain from food, from drink, from sexual intimacy, and any other harmful behavior. And this is why it is called a sacred month. During this month also, there's an increased devotion to God, and this removes from our minds the weaknesses of impatience and the lack of courage. By focusing our minds on the attributes of the divine being, the attributes of the Creator, focusing our minds on love and forgiveness and kindness and charity, takes our minds away from focusing on things which can be harmful to ourselves and to the rest of the society. So though we go hungry during this particular month, as we fast during the day, we do not get angry. We go hungry, but we do not get angry. It is often said that a hungry person is an angry person. Fasting disproves that, at least the Islamic system of fasting. And indeed, the Quran tells us other faith systems do have fasting and they achieve the same purpose, whether it is in Hinduism or Christianity. It is designed in order to help us to control our attitudes and our relationships with other people in our community and society. So that it is important, in fact, it should be essential for each and every one of us to take on the fasting challenge. It's a challenge to fast, especially to fast from dawn to dusk without eating or drinking anything whatsoever, not even water, during that lengthy period. And even children sometimes endure that experience. So that fasting challenge is a means of receiving blessings of perseverance and steadfastness. At the end of the hardship of fasting and abstinence, there is a result. There is an outcome. And that result is the happiness and the joy that we have now completed this experience and we are celebrating Eid. This is what Eid is all about. Bringing an end to that hardship and now basking in the joy and happiness of moving forward throughout the year with these new attitudes and approach. But we need to ask the question, what in fact is happiness? What is being happy? The Quran teaches us, as for those who are quite satisfied and perform acts of amendments in their lifestyle, they enjoy happiness in profusion. Now it is said that enjoyment is what we get out of our lives, but happiness is what we give out of our lives. So enjoyment is what we get, but happiness is what we give to others. So our life's goal therefore, is to turn enjoyment into happiness. In other words, to use what we get for what we give, or to enjoy life to the fullest by giving to make others happy. Happiness in the Quran is described as Sa'id, an Arabic word which means a natural flow of good fortune. And that natural flow of good fortune changes for better our attitudes and our outlook in life and gives us a new and true identity, a new me, a new you. Human beings tend to seek happiness in certain things, in wealth, for example, in status, in sovereignty, in power, in glory, in pleasure. And they think that happiness consists in one or other of these. Happiness cannot be found among these perishable things. They all are ephemeral. They last for just a short while. Power can be taken from an individual. People can lose the valuable things that you cherish. The moment you want more, you're not happy. And there are some people who have everything and yet still they want more. They want to own more countries, they want to own more wealth, they want to own more of anything that they enjoy. The labels that have been given to them, the records that they have broken in sport, in music, in any particular field, they want more and more and more. And the moment you want more, you cannot really be happy. Happiness must not be a mere wish, however. It is a fact that using our efforts to search for and discover all the obstacles within ourselves, and that is the essential a part of happiness. That is, we remove the obstacles within ourselves that deny us happiness. We prevent happiness from coming to us by allowing obstacles to happiness developing within us. So instead of looking outwardly for happiness, simply look within ourselves to discover and remove all the ways we are preventing ourselves from being happy. Our self-worth is not dependent on external things like honors, or relationship, or wealth, or our achievements. Happiness is the next word of comfort and the next act of kindness that we extend to others. The Quran teaches us that with difficulty is opportunity. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْأُسْرِ يُسْرًا. With difficulty is opportunity. The exercise and experience of fasting is an opportunity for young people especially to manage risks that have become socially tolerable and acceptable. Unfortunately, certain things which destroy the human personality have become socially acceptable and tolerable. Youths, especially, who are readily influenced, youths in particular who are readily influenced by drugs and gangs and peers, by pop stars and role models and the media, are indeed affected and influenced by the fasts of their parents and peers more than children of alcoholic parents who are affected by their drinking and their drug taking. In other words, if within a home people are fasting, they have a tendency to influence their youths more, to discipline themselves and manage those risks of being influenced by the deleterious activities that go on in the society around them. But in a home in which there is no fasting, youths are left alone and they are unable to manage and control their emotions and their addictions. So as Muslims, our children's minds are influenced by Quranic education as they learn that there are two ways to get enough in life. There are two ways to get enough in life. One is to continue to accumulate more. And the other is to desire less. Fasting and abstinence during the month of Ramadan, the sacred month, that teaches us and trains us to desire less. Our Islam teaches us that God blesses us with riches for our hard work so that we take pleasure in acquiring worldly goods. Acquiring wealth frees us from the anxieties of earning a livelihood, no doubt, and this is important and essential. Yet, we are not free from the cares that life brings. The enmity of others, their jealousy, their malice, family calamities, and the complications of social life. These are among the burdens that we are required to bear, and they challenge our happiness. We are all blessed with God's favors, but the way we enjoy these favors is when God rewards us for parting with them to further His cause. Allah has given us so much favors, but when we part with them for His cause, for His sake, then we are in fact given rewards. So in order to find happiness, we must give them all up. It may seem strange, but to find happiness, we must give up all those things that we think give us happiness because they are just temporary. And our Islam makes us happy not for what we get, but for what we give to others. We become happy when we give. And so before the Eid prayer, we give the Zakatul Fitr, the Eid charity, for the benefit of the less fortunate. When we place welfare before worship, and the charity has to be paid before the prayer. So welfare, concern for the community and society is placed before even worshiping God. Welfare before worship. When we do that, we acquire the largeness of the heart that helps us to bear difficulties and challenges with a cheerful spirit. Eid, as I said, is a recurrent happiness. And happiness is not attained with material things, but with a large heart and a broad mind that is free from cares and desires. Who does not want to be relieved of the burdens and struggles of this world? The joy of Eid lies in the exhilarating feeling of relief from the hardships of the fast. Our steadfastness and endurance teach us that if we can solve our problems, then what is the need of worrying? And if we cannot solve our problems, what is the use of worrying? Nearing the end of Ramadan, we search for the Laylatul Qadr, the big night of power. When we witness the power of love replaces the love of power. The power of love replaces the love of power. And we search for the light of Allah as it was given to the Prophet Muhammad, may peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. That light can best be rightly appreciated by one who has had an experience of total darkness. So if things are bleak in your life, and if there's darkness in your life, seek the light that you find in the worship of your Creator, whatever faith system you may belong to. As we pass this night researching the Quran, which is Allah's message to all human beings, we know we can believe Allah's official spokesman, the Prophet Muhammad. So unlike others who trust unidentified sources and fake news in the search for truth and happiness. Ramadan, followed by Eid, reminds us that in our youth, be self-controlled and be disciplined. But as an adult, we must be just and fair. As we get older, we must be wise and patient. And when the ultimate sacrifice of dying comes, we will be without regrets as we thank Allah with the words, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. Which of the favors of Allah can we deny? Ramadan means summer or the heat of summer, and fasting in Ramadan is an annual summer cleaning of the soul. We let go of the old and what no longer serves us to attract the new. We took the time to cleanse, to rid ourselves of cravings for food, as well as toxic relationships at home, at work, and at the mosque. We curb our thoughts and habits to replace them with forward-moving ideas. Space and vacuum always tends to fill up again with the new and better. So as we empty our lives of all that holds back our spiritual progress, we fill them with acts of goodness that enriches our soul. Fasting in Ramadan was a discipline to refocus our lives, to turn hunger into patience and determination, and endurance into an understanding of Allah's will and command. While we fasted, we put less of our food into our bodies and more of ourselves into our work, our family, and our Jamaat, our community. We turned nutritional losses into personal and spiritual gains. Ramadan was an opportunity to invest our energy in self-development and renewal of the soul. We enriched our lives with quality effort, quality in relationships, quality friends, quality foods, quality meditations and prayers, and quality sleep. Seeking quality helps us to recognize and eliminate that which is not essential. This is how we find focus in life. This is how we obtain our Eid, our celebration of accomplishment. Eid no doubt ensures that our efforts are equally matched in results. We are thankful and grateful for achieving fullness of life by making full use of the resources and the new opportunities discovered through our abstinence, which turn what we already have into more by making us grateful for the little that we have. It educates us to economize. The Quran puts it nicely, and your nurturer Allah makes it known. If you are grateful for little, I will give you more. The Quran also assures us, certainly for those who have disciplined themselves through fasting, there is an excellent resort, Gardens of Eden. Doors are opened for them within which they experience fine dining as they call for many fruits and drinks. On every occasion of Eid al-Fitr, we remember Jesus' prayer, O Allah, our nurturer, let the heavenly food you send us be an Eid, a celebration of happiness and a return to a better life for our present generation and beyond, and to an indication that it has come from you, and give us sustenance. We then experience Allah's response. Surely this is our sustenance. It will never come to an end. Our country is blessed and fortunate to have the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam with its rational and intelligent way of interpreting and presenting Islam. In presenting a better Islam, our approach is to focus on two main things. One is developing within the human personality the attributes of Allah. The other is to promote in our society the attitude of living in harmony, not hostility. We ask, how much of the attributes of Allah have we developed within us? We require that we measure the value of human life, and this is the emphasis of the Ahmadiyya movement. We require that the measure of the value of human life is to be measured by the amount of divinity that we have within us, not by the amount of prosperity that we have with us. So that the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago extends felicitations to all. Eid al-Fitr Mubarak.
To bring greetings on behalf of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman, I would like to welcome Imam Farzan Ramjan, Vice President of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago, and Imam of the Anjuman Hidayat al-Islam Saparia.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I bear witness that there is one God, Allah, and I also bear witness that Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the last and final messenger of Allah. I begin in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, most gracious, most merciful, who has granted us the strength and guidance to complete the blessed month of Ramadan. We send peace and blessings upon our Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who taught us the true faith, compassion, and unity. Today, as we gather to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, we do so with hearts filled with gratitude, humility, and joy. Ramadan has been a time of spiritual reflection, self-discipline, and renewed devotion. It has reminded us of the importance of patience, generosity, and care for the less fortunate. Eid is not only a celebration, but also a continuation of the values we have nurtured during Ramadan. It's a day that calls upon us to strengthen our bonds with families, friends, and our wider community. Let us use this occasion to forgive one another, to spread kindness, and to uplift those in need. In a world that often faces division and hardship, the message of Eid stands as a beacon of peace, unity, and hope. Let us embody these principles in our daily life, striving to be a source of light and positivity wherever we go. On behalf of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago, our President, Sister Farida Muhammad, our esteemed religious head and missionary, Maulana Mustafa Kemal Haidal, and all our executive members, we extend the warmest Eid greetings to you and your families. May Allah accept our prayers, fasting, and good deeds, and may He bless us all with continued guidance, prosperity, and success. Eid Mubarak to each and every one of you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you for joining us on this special Eid program. On behalf of the Ahmadiyya Anjuman Isha'at Islam Incorporated of Trinidad and Tobago, I would like to wish you and your family Eid Mubarak.